What's up, peoples? Welcome to another episode on Spliff Talk. I got my spliff. It's been a couple days, I'm sorry. I've been focused on a lot of things lately. I'm building a business separately from this, a coaching business, teaching people how to make wealth and have good health. Seriously though, I am. I also have another channel. It's called Lucifer Constantine. Moi. The channel is focused on business. And I'm teaching things on that channel that have to do with business, have to do with life, have to do with the mentality of wealth. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. Because it seems like there's people who are admitting that the system looks rigged. Looks hella rigged, right? Everybody's suffering, there's inflation, prices going up. We got a incompetent president and another one who people don't trust running for office. It's a lot of stuff going on. But I was watching a little bit of this video earlier today, and I wanted to discuss the things that this guy talks about. So, without further ado, let's dig in and watch the video. Whoops, got my tablet.
Yeah.
So Scott, let's get into your book. But first, run through, if you will. I've seen you talk about this in speeches. Talk about how the system is rigged. So if you got $1 million, great. If you got 5 million, 10 million, even better. Life gets easier because the way our tax system's set up.
Yeah, we have a very progressive tax system until you get to about the 99th percent. And essentially the people who get most damaged by our current tax code, it's lower and middle income households, their taxes have gone up slightly because of consumption, but not because of federal. The people that really get hurt are what I call the workhorses. And that are people who make an exceptionally good living, but it's all current income, and they live in a blue state. They might be paying 50 to 54% tax rate. I bet some of those people are on around this table right now. But if you can make the jump to light speed and invest in assets, stocks, housing, then your tax rate plummets. So in America, we've decided to try and create a super class of billionaires. And then if they win the gold medal, we're going to give them the silver and the bronze. Two biggest tax deductions, capital gains and mortgage interest. Who owns homes and stocks? People my age. Who doesn't know? Who rents and makes their money from current income? Young people. So we've decided that the wealthiest people in the world should get exceptionally more wealthy. Minimum wage stuck at $9.25. Stock market is screamed up. The average 70-year-old is 72% wealthier than they were 40 years ago. The average person under the age of 40 is 24% less wealthy. We are purposely transferring more wealth from the poor and middle class and the upper class to the super rich, and from young to old.
And you say in the book, which is true and alarming, but let's say a 30-year-old American in America right now is doing no better than his or her parents. Then that's a new thing in American history that you would think over time, we want to do better than the next generation, than the last generation. It's not happening anymore.
I think it all ties into what we're talking about on campuses. For the first time in our nation's history, a 30-year-old man or woman isn't doing as well as his or her parents were at 30. That is the social compact breaking down. People aged 30 to 34, 60% of them in 1990 had one child. Now it's 27%. People are opting out of America. They're not optimistic about it. They're not having kids. Young people aren't having sex. They're not meeting. They're not mating. The pool of emotionally and economically viable men shrinks every day, which lessens household formation. So we have a real issue. Young people are enraged. So it turns every cut, every movement into an opportunistic infection because, quite frankly, they are just pissed off. They look up, they see wealth, exceptional wealth across my generation and people in certain industries, and they are really struggling. Their purchasing power is going down, and the incumbents create artificial scarcity on campus. We take pride in rejecting 90% of our applicants, so the incumbents who already have a degree see their degree go up in value. We get very concerned with housing and traffic once we own the housing. Housing permits are sequestered from young people. Housing prices have gone from $290 to $420 in the last 4 years. So a young person, a house, stocks that I don't own skyrocket in value. Let's have COVID relief and flush the markets and take assets way up, because if 1 million people dying would be bad, would be tragic if I got less wealthy. And we're doing it on their credit card. Young people have every reason to be enraged, and every issue they see, they look up, they get angry, and they see someone doing better than them. And then every day it is speedballed in their face that they are failing, that they are not doing as well as everyone around them. We have lost the script. Our kids are more anxious and more depressed and more obese and more addicted. And we have made a purposeful decision to let this happen by ensuring the people around this table stay wealthy at the cost of young people.
So, Scott, what the social element of that? That's the economic element.
Yep. We're going to kill it right there. You can watch the rest of the video. Put the link in the bottom. That is crazy to think about, isn't it? Now, I was born in 1992. So everything was already established, or already being established. And he's not wrong about a lot of things that he speaks on. For example, the housing market. Jesus Christ. By 2008, when it crashed, like, how many of us were like, well, I ain't buying no house. What's the point? Look what's going on. People are freaking losing their houses. Bankruptcies going on in companies, corruption, right? Find out, have you ever seen the movie, I think it's called The Big Short, which talks about what happened in 2008. You find out a lot of crazy things, that rich, greedy people get away with. And we as millennials, we definitely are enraged. I mean, we were raised by a generation of old heads who used hard discipline, at least in my environment. I grew up around a lot of people who had hard parents, right? Who were all about, you got to get your education, you got to get the degree, you got to make a career. Oh, don't pursue, gaming's for losers. You can't make money in art. Music is corrupt and all this stuff. And even though a lot of these things are true, not only does it shut down a lot of ideas and smothers creative sparks, but it doesn't allow any room for adaptation. And then when you have on top of that the fact that our own government, politicians, and people who were older than us were voting for these things and voting for the world to be the way it is now, it's no wonder that we got lost in the sauce, with how fast technology has advanced and how the economy has changed drastically and how you can make money. I mean, now you can make money as a video gamer on YouTube who plays video games every day and talks about it, right? Now you can make money bullshitting yourself as some type of expert who sells some kind of online course, you know, and you bait people into buying that course, right? Or buying that new supplement, right? Like V-Shred. You guys seen V-Shred? Man, that guy's annoying. Always popping up on my screen. And I know that everything he says is bullshit because I've already went to school for being a nutritionist and a personal trainer. So I already know that he uses lingo to catch your attention and manipulate facts and manipulate truths. And that's what's been going on. We're all being manipulated constantly by everything that we see. We see people making money selling their body and selling their soul. And then we see people making money enslaving or selling other people. You know, if you want to put it into negative, simple terms, right? Yet at the same time, what I'm trying to teach people in the book that I'm writing, in these videos, in the other channel that I have, is that bad is only bad if you believe it's bad. It's perception. It's perspective. It's manipulation of morality and ethics. And if you're not self-aware of yourself and you don't look into the things that you believe in, then being a fool once, twice, thrice is all your fault. You have nobody else to blame but you at some point, you know? Like I was saying before, I was born in technological advancement. I'm the first immigrant of my first generation immigrant. My parents were first generation immigrants. And then I was first generation American. And my parents knew nothing about capitalism, right? They knew nothing about it. Most people that I grew up with who were in the poorer communities, all they knew about was welfare programs, EBT and SNAP, Section 8, and all these other government programs, because that's what they believe is achievable for them, right? That's what they're motivated to go after when things get tough and things get hard. And then on the far spectrum, right, you got the rich and the powerful who are building their wealth. And they're thinking, well, we have a lot of unappreciative, consuming, greedy ass clients, right? And they got to protect themselves. And all of this creates the mess or the order, however you want to look at it, of our country, right? The freedom to let everyone believe in whatever they want to believe in, the freedom to let everyone choose whatever they want to choose, will naturally create differences and chaos and order, right? How can there be chaos and order? Well, because you have some groups that organize and you have some groups that don't. Right? And an organized group can be orderly, while another organized group can be chaotic, right? A business organization is orderly because they run money and all this stuff. And yet they could have chaos and corruption and money laundering and all these things, just like a gang of thugs could have organizational order and making money and profit, and at the same time have chaos with the violence and the killings. You see? Perspective. If we only focus on the disempowering things that happen in our lives, And that's all we're ever going to see. Disempowering things and disempowering answers. But if we actively search for empowering things, for hope, for faith, then that is also what we will eventually find, right? You guys have to stay focused on the right things that matter when it comes to life. We have so many examples in our history, in our technology, in our advancement of our mistakes, right? These things should definitely be talked about and debated. But at the end of the day, you all as individuals need to make decisions to pave the way for a better future. You have to stop giving your power away to other people. The Constitution of the United States clearly states, we, the people, in order to form a more perfect union, yada, 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 right? We made this country. First of all, the ancestors of this country took it from whoever was already here, the Native Americans. Then, once they took it and said that it was theirs, they were like, all right, everybody, we the people who live here on these lands have a right to say, inform, and decide on what this country should be and what it should look like. We say we are the United States, and yet we have states that are either red or blue. Are we the united people? Can we be the united people? Or are we just going to be United States? Because we need to be a united people as well in order to change the mistakes that we have caused to affect the younger generations and the older generations. We each and every single one of us have to take responsibility, have to take accountability, share the wealth, and not just give it away either. Share it to those who earn it, right? If you worked your ass off to get to a certain point, you deserve a reward. Nothing in life comes without risk or without a cost or without an effect or without consequences. Even if you are well-intended, good-intentioned, Miss Goody Two-Shoes, you cannot control how other people will react to your goodness, because one person may not like how Goody Two-Shoes you are and be like, I don't like her. And therefore, there's a bad outcome in that person's mentality just because they don't like how Goody Two-Shoes you are. So, let's stop focusing on all the bad. And let's start focusing on all the good and keeping the good going, right? And fixing the bad things, right? Because if you are a good person, you want to fix bad things. It's just natural, right? The light naturally wants to shine, but it's always going to cast a shadow. Anyway, peace out, guys. I'll see you on the next episode. Deuces.